Hi guys, I'm Abby Sharp and welcome to Abby's Kitchen. We are back today with the Ridiculist. And for my long-term followers, you know it has been a while, but this one is worth the wait because we've got a special COVID-19 edition. Now, it's no question that we have all been bombarded with a stream of coronavirus-related information for the past several weeks. Whether it's the growing number of statistics worldwide, the necessary safety precautions, or the implementation of new policies to protect the public. While all super valuable, it has been a lot to process. So I do hope you're all hanging in there and staying safe through these uncertain times. But of course, along with this valid information comes a lot of misinformation and predatory marketing that you know this girl will not have. Obviously, one of the major culprits of this misinformation have come from wellness influencers and companies trying to sell or promote immunity boosting products that claim to specifically protect against or treat COVID-19. Insert eye roll here. Now, before we even get into it, I want to start by strongly emphasizing that there is no one miracle food, tincture, tea, or over-the-counter product on the market right now that can prevent against or treat infection from COVID-19. Yes, ensuring we're getting enough sleep, minimizing stress, and eating a diet rich in antioxidant-rich fruits and vegetables can generally support a healthy immune system, but they don't undo bad hygiene, and even healthy people with healthy immune systems are getting sick. This is a highly contagious virus, so until we have a regulated vaccine available to the public, the only thing that can protect you from infection are the recommendations that have been outlined by health authorities worldwide. So those include, number one, good hand hygiene, which means washing your hands for 20 seconds with soap and water, especially after touching surfaces or being in public. Number two, avoiding touching your face, mouth, eyes, and nose. Three, coughing or sneezing into your elbow. And four, most importantly, practicing social distancing, which means staying at home as much as possible to prevent possible infection and further spread of the virus. And no, this does not mean popping into your friend's house for a little coffee date or a wine night, and it certainly doesn't mean meeting up with your family for dinner or a cute little movie night. Social distancing means parking your butt and staying the F home. Now, before we get into it, my general disclaimer that the information in this video is for education and entertainment purposes only, and you should always seek the help of a medical professional for any COVID-19 treatment. Okay, woo, let's do this. Glad I wore my sassy pants today. So first up on the Ridiculist, the Coronavirus Protocol by Herbal Amy. Talk about taking advantage of vulnerable people in desperate times. This protocol claims to prevent and treat infection through a combination of a number of different tinctures, teas, and oils, including a coronavirus boneset tea, coronavirus cell protection, coronavirus core tincture, coronavirus immune system, and an elderberry tincture. Whew, that was a mouthful. Now, all of these products are being sold for the hefty price of $155. Yes, $155 USD. Now, the website claims that the herbs possess powerful antiviral properties to kill coronaviruses. It also claims that the formulas are preventative as well as specific for acute infections from the coronavirus. Really, Amy? Really? Now, the active ingredients in these products, which include elderberry, skullcap, and Japanese knotweed, have been used in natural medicine for centuries for their antiviral properties. And while there is some research to suggest that elderberry may help treat the flu, and skullcap and Japanese knotweed may have anti-inflammatory properties, they have not been tested or proven to do anything with this deadly virus. In fact, some experts worry that because of elderberry's immune activating properties, it might actually make the illness, if contracted, more aggressive. Again, we don't really know. But more problematically, however, is that these products, particularly the skullcap and the knotweed, may have adverse side effects, including liver damage. Skullcap may also cause lung complications, irregular heartbeat, and mental confusion in some people. So be sure to speak to your doctor before taking any of these kinds of products. The shadiest part of this protocol is the fact that the hand sanitizer doesn't even contain any alcohol, which is probably because alcohol is seen as a toxin in a lot of wellness communities. But here's a little insider tip. We kind of need toxins to kill viruses, and hand sanitizer needs to be at least 60% ethanol or 70% isopropyl to even be effective. I'm kind of shocked and honestly a little offended that enough people spent $155 on this thing to have this protocol sell out. But hey, it's your money, it's your life. Next. Okay, next up on the Ridiculist is Bonicet Tea by Vivify Holistic Clinic. So this holistic clinic in Sarnia, Canada, promoted the use of Bonicet tea for the treatment of coronavirus infection, citing alleged findings by Stephen Bunner, an author and herbalist. Now, Bunner claims to have done extensive research on coronaviruses and has supposedly treated them successfully with Bonicet tea. But this research is not something I would even call research. He mostly just cites his own books on herbalism while providing no real literature to back up his sensationalized claims. So before it was taken down, the website recommended drinking this special tea 6 times daily to treat an active infection. Tea for coronavirus? This grossly problematic suggestion has since been removed and replaced with a note that there are no claims being made to cure any medical condition and to seek treatment from your doctor. A+ on the disclaimer, but would have been great to see that in the first place before they got called out by the FDA. As for the tea itself, Bonicet has been traditionally used as an herbal remedy to treat things like influenza, the common cold, joint pain, fever, pneumonia, and other conditions. And there is even some early research to suggest that taking Bonicet tea may reduce symptoms of the common cold. But this was a study done with 53 people, and it was on the cold. And it has become very clear that COVID-19 is no cold. Ingesting Bonicet tea may also come with some risks, including severe diarrhea and vomiting. It also contains chemicals called pyrrolizidine alkaloids, which have been known to cause liver damage. I don't see a disclaimer about that on the site, Mr. Bunner. Thankfully, the FDA recently classified Bonicet tea as an herb of unidentified safety, because we really don't know if it's even safe to use, period, never mind as a remedy for a deadly virus. The last thing we need to be dealing with right now is the potential risks that come with drinking excessive amounts of diarrhea tea. So save your money, stay properly hydrated, and follow the advice of medical professionals. Next. Okay, moving on to colloidal silver. Now, I have seen a lot of companies peddling the use of colloidal silver for the treatment of coronavirus. This includes the Jim Baker Show, Vital Silver, JRB Enterprise Group, and the company called Zephyr Energetics. Now, the Jim Baker Show aired a segment promoting the sale of colloidal silver for $125 a bottle. Now, on the show, naturopathic doctor Cheryl Selman claimed that even though colloidal silver hasn't been tested on COVID-19, it has been used with other coronaviruses and has been able to eliminate it within 12 hours. I'd like to see your reference for that. Similarly, one company, Vital Silver, recommends taking 2 teaspoons of colloidal silver twice daily to kill the virus, as they state the silver will attach to the virus, rendering them ineffective and boosting your immune system. That is quite the claim. If colloidal silver were really the saving grace of the coronavirus, then I'm pretty sure we wouldn't all be living in a global pandemic right now with valuable healthcare workers getting violently ill. To give you a brief backgrounder on what colloidal silver even is, it's basically a mineral often used as a homeopathic remedy to treat bacterial, viral, and fungal infections. The exact mechanism behind this is not fully understood, mostly because there's no research to support these claims, but proponents of colloidal silver claim that it can bind to bacterial or viral cells and damage their cell walls and DNA, resulting in cell death. Not surprisingly, the evidence on this is seriously lacking. In fact, colloidal silver has no known function in the body at all, and is not even considered an essential mineral to begin with. There's also been concerns raised about the safety and risks of ingesting colloidal silver, as exposure can lead to the development of something called ANTIOXIDANT, which is a condition that turns the skin a blue-gray color as a result of the buildup of silver particles in the skin and other organs like the liver, kidneys, and intestines. So not only is colloidal silver ineffective at treating any bacterial or viral infection, including COVID-19, but it may also make you turn blue. I don't think any of us are trying to turn into the blueberry girl from Willy Wonka, but colloidal silver, I am taking a hard pass. Next. All right, next up on the chopping block is none other than the power of essential oils. Now, I am all for a nice smelling home, but at this point, a house that reeks of bleach is probably better protected from coronavirus than one that smells of diffused lavender and sage. Using essential oils to treat and prevent coronavirus has been recently promoted by companies like Gurinanda and Quintessence Aromatherapy. Gurinanda specifically was promoting the sale of tea tree and eucalyptus oils as a means to target COVID-19. On their website, they stated that essential oils have great potential in the field of biomedicine as they effectively destroy bacterial, fungal, and viral pathogens. By using these essential oils, the company promises to decrease the chances of becoming infected with coronavirus and even offers a 50% discount on essential oil products by using the promo code CORONA. Really? I am generally annoyed with oil peddlers suggesting that you'll lose 10 pounds after sniffing ginger, but this is next level bad. Now, Quintessence Aromatherapy, on the other hand, claims that a wide range of essential oils have been clinically proven to possess antiviral properties and have measurable effects on infections, including influenza. On their website, they have also stated that since this new strain of virus continues to be a very serious threat right now, it certainly can't hurt to use essential oils that you already have to avoid infection until a cure has been developed. I agree. I mean, it certainly can't hurt, but don't tell people that it's going to help them avoid infection. Ballsy, huh? What we do know about essential oils is that they have long been used in aromatherapy as a form of alternative medicine to support general health and well-being. There are over 90 commonly used essential oils, each with their own associated health claims with variable levels of efficacy. While I personally love the smell of lavender oil in my bath before bed, and I have no problem with people using them therapeutically if it brings them joy, I would never rely on any oil to combat this serious novel virus, and I would hope that any reputable oil company or representative wouldn't recommend people do that. So friends, if you want to cover up the smell of disinfectant wipes lingering on your countertops and doorknobs, sure, I mean, bust out a little diffuser and get a little citrus scent up in there. But do not use these as a replacement for hygiene, social distancing, and common sense. Next. Okay, moving on to salt therapy by HaloSense. So salt therapy company HaloSense began promoting salt therapy as a means to protect against COVID-19, claiming that breathing in minuscule salt particles clears the lungs of anything that shouldn't be in there. That sounds really specific. Anyway, the salt particles are allegedly antiviral, and with right preventative measures through salt therapy, they claim that there is a slim chance you will catch the disease. Oh yeah, that must be legit. Now, this is not actually a new wellness theory. Breathing in salty air, also known as halotherapy, dates back to the medieval era. Proponents of salt therapy claim that salt cleanses the respiratory system and can help to treat respiratory conditions like asthma, bronchitis, and allergies. However, studies on halotherapy are highly mixed and inconclusive. According to a 2014 review, most studies on halotherapy for the treatment of COPD specifically are wildly flawed. And respiratory experts are highly skeptical of this technique as it's not been rigorously studied enough to recommend. Also, mind you, we're not in a situation where we should all be running to the spa or a wellness center to receive salt therapy. In fact, All of these places have been shut down, thank goodness, along with other non-essential services. Luckily, the products that we've mentioned thus far have been flagged by the FDA as misleading to the public and were ordered to take immediate action to correct these violations. The FDA is continuously monitoring and warning companies who sell these types of fraudulent products that claim to prevent, diagnose, treat, or cure COVID-19. Twitter and Facebook have also begun cracking down on their platforms for misinformation, including the promotion of COVID-19 related immunity boosting products. If you're interested in a list of warning letters issued by the FDA, I will leave a link in the description below if you want to stay up to date and informed on these types of really problematic products. But until then, I would say just save your money and breathe normal air at home. Next is simply inulin. Now, moving on to sketchy influencer territory, let's talk about French wellness influencer Ingrid de la Mare-Kenny. Now, Ingrid promoted the product Simply Inulin on her Instagram page as powerful protection against COVID-19. In a now deleted post, she claims that a health professional in Monaco supposedly recommended the use of the product Simply Inulin as a means to support the immune system and make it bulletproof against the novel coronavirus. More than just a random fan, Ingrid just so happens to sell the product on her online store. That is not suspicious at all. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with inulin, it's a type of prebiotic fiber which helps to feed the beneficial bacteria in your gut. In doing so, it encourages the growth of healthy gut bacteria like BIFIDOBACTERIUM and LACTOBACILI, which in turn promotes healthy digestion. There are also several known health benefits of inulin fiber that go beyond digestive health. Some studies have shown that it may improve blood sugar control, help to relieve constipation, and has been used as a weight loss aid by helping to keep you fuller longer. One thing that inulin is certainly not effective towards is making the immune system bulletproof towards COVID-19. It's fiber, folks, like not a coveted N95 mask. Now, though the research showing a link between a healthy gut and immunity is well documented, these findings pertain to general immunity and not immunity towards infection from COVID-19 specifically. With the research on COVID-19 still in its early stages, the role of general immunity and the gut microbiome in potentially combating the virus is just not fully understood. It certainly doesn't hurt to up your intake of inulin fiber to support a healthy gut and general immunity, but to make a definitive statement that a particular product will protect you against coronavirus is just so grossly wrong. If you're interested in improving your gut health to support general immunity, you can do so by adding more probiotic-rich foods to your diet like yogurt, kimchi, miso, or sauerkraut. You can also incorporate more prebiotic fibers into your meals, so foods like asparagus, garlic, bananas, onions, or chicory root. And doing all of that, of course, while aiming towards eating more plant-based foods that are rich in fiber and antioxidants. You don't need a $30 supplement to do that. Next. And finally, let's talk about vitamin mega dosing. Now, you may or may not have heard about members of the wellness community, such as Peter Osborne and Andrew Saul, recommending mega doses of antioxidants like vitamin A, C, and D as a means to protect against COVID-19. Not only are these recommendations not supported by the evidence, but they may actually be extremely dangerous. These people are recommending doses that are way beyond the recommended amounts for each vitamin, and they pose some serious health risks. Vitamin C, for example, does have a role in immunity and wound healing and can be obtained from the diet by eating a variety of fruits and vegetables. Because vitamin C is water soluble, it does not get stored in the body, and any excess is excreted out in your pee. However, this is mostly true for food sources of vitamin C, whereas supplemental forms of vitamin C are not excreted as easily from the body, leading to an increased risk of toxicity. One 2019 review did find that oral and IV high doses of vitamin C treatment may reduce ICU stay by 8% and shorten ventilation duration by 18.2%. However, in practice, including early experiments with COVID-19 patients, doctors would never give these high amounts orally. They would need to be administered through an IV very carefully monitored by a doctor. The reason is that excess vitamin C supplementation is not necessarily benign. Excess vitamin C supplementation can cause adverse health effects ranging from digestive symptoms like diarrhea and nausea to the development of kidney stones, and it may also lead to iron overload, which can be seriously damaging for organs like the heart, liver, and pancreas. These adverse effects appear to occur when people are taking vitamin C doses just over 2,000 milligrams. And our friends Peter Osborne and Andrew Saul are recommending between 5,000 and 24,000 milligrams. Folks, you may not need to go to the ER for COVID, but you will be praying they have a bed when your liver fails. As for vitamin D, low levels of vitamin D have been associated with respiratory disease, as well as viral respiratory infections and decreased lung function. While we don't have actual research on vitamin D for COVID, it does make sense that we would want to keep our vitamin levels in check, especially considering the high prevalence of vitamin D deficiency worldwide. But as for high single doses, a systematic review concluded that single doses of vitamin D up to 100,000 IUs may be effective at improving vitamin D status to prevent deficiency while under medical supervision. Mind you, these are findings, not recommendations, and they pertain to a single dose every 3 months, not daily dosages. Also, similar to vitamin C, vitamin D also has potential risks from high supplemental doses, including elevated calcium levels, digestive symptoms, dizziness, confusion, nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, bone loss, and even kidney failure. Toxicity is also more likely to occur in people taking high dose supplements, as it is very unlikely to reach high blood levels through diet alone. Contrary to vitamin C, vitamin D is fat soluble, meaning it's stored in the body fat and released into the bloodstream slowly versus being excreted immediately in the urine. Because we're able to have vitamin D stores, this means that the effects of vitamin D toxicity may potentially last for several months after you stop taking the supplements. So the recommended daily amounts for adults is just 600 IUs, compared to Peter Osborne's recommendation of 150,000 IUs of vitamin D. I am pretty good at taking a lot of supplements at once, but I would have to take 250 vitamin D tablets per day just to reach those recommendations. That would work out to around $300 per week. Nope. As for the risks of high supplemental doses of vitamin A, they may include vision changes, bone pain, skin changes, respiratory infection, and possible kidney and liver damage. Peter Osborne recommends 75 micrograms of vitamin A, which is more than 8 times the recommended daily amount of 700 to 900 micrograms for adults. So yeah, just please don't. Bottom line, there is absolutely nothing safe about taking megadoses of vitamin supplements without medical supervision, as these can cause some serious adverse health risks, which may even land you in the hospital. And that is probably the last place you want to be during a global pandemic. So please, save your money, get your vitamins mainly from food sources, take your usual vitamin doses, and talk to a doctor or dietitian before starting any new supplements. Now, I want to just conclude with some general immunity tips. So the big question, coronavirus or no coronavirus, is there anything that we can do naturally to support our immune system for general health and well-being according to the research? The answer is yes. There is. Though no one food or supplement can prevent illness or infection, you can always support your immune system through a balanced diet that includes adequate sources of protein, like lean meat, poultry, fish, eggs, tofu, beans, legumes, vitamin A from sources like orange or yellow vegetables and fruits and dark leafy greens, vitamin C from things like citrus fruits and a wide variety of vegetables, vitamin E from healthy fat sources like nuts and oils, and zinc from whole grains, beans, nuts, and animal protein. In addition to supporting the immune system through food, you can also support a healthy immune system through lifestyle changes by getting adequate sleep, exercising regularly, and managing stress. Bottom line, though immunity boosting sure is a buzzword these days, the reality is there is currently no known cures or preventative treatments for COVID-19. Though research is still underway to develop a vaccine, no food or product on the market can promise immunity or protection from this virus. So be skeptical of anyone trying to sell or promote a product that makes these extreme and sensationalized promises. Also be skeptical of anyone who simultaneously tries to sell these themselves without giving alternative product suggestions. Again, I want to emphasize that while taking care of your general health should always be a priority, not just in a pandemic, the most important things that you can immediately do to protect yourself and others is to wash your hands, avoid touching your face, and practice social distancing. Well, folks, that is all for this episode of The Ridiculist. Please continue to stay safe and stay critical of misinformation online. Of course, leave me a comment below, like this video, subscribe, and I will see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye!